Organizations are after the latest and greatest AI tools. Buy the AI tool licenses, run a workshop, build a prompt library on a shared drive, create the Slack channel where people post the clever thing Claude did for them this morning, or post all the list of Claude guides, on social media. That tends to be the one post that gets the most likes and comments and reposts. New tooling comes in, and the instinct was always the same. Point the new capability at the existing delivery pipeline. More throughput against the same goals. Some teams were using the new capability to ask a different question entirely. Not how do we go faster, but what should we be building at all? In this video, we're going to be talking about AI tool training and how AI adoption is happening throughout organizations. Hi, my name is Anil Jaisingh. I'm a certified Scrum trainer at Scrum Alliance and adjunct professor at the NYU Graduate Program of Project Management and a product manager for a thriving training and consulting company, Concepts and Beyond. Tool training is easy to buy and easy to measure. You count the seats, the certifications, the prompts in the library. It feels like progress because it's binary. Either it happened or it did not. A product manager who can generate a product requirements document draft in 4 minutes instead of 2 days, summarize user research in a fraction of time, and draft acceptance criteria that used to take an afternoon. That's genuine productivity. But here's what they do with that recovered time. They go straight back to the existing backlog. The same roadmap, the same quarterly pressure to ship what was already planned. Tool training bought them speed. It did absolutely nothing though about what to build faster. The entire frame around it is cost reduction. We train the team is faster. Faster means cheaper. Cheaper feels like a win, so teams do the logical thing. They point the new tool at the existing roadmap and produce more features. Faster against the same unvalidated assumptions they had before. Creating more output against unvalidated assumptions is an innovation. It's the feature factory on steroids. The customer feels none of it because nothing about production speed changes, whether you're building the right thing in the first place. And now you're flooding your users with features at a pace no human being can actually absorb. When AI hands your team 3 or 4 extra hours a week, does your organization actually give them anywhere to spend those hours other than the backlog? In most places, the honest answer is no. There's no slack in the system to chase a hunch about an unmet customer need. No budget line for an experiment that might not work. No part of the time that's protected for discovery. The AI capability exists, so the extra time gets absorbed by the same machine that was already running. I've seen this before, not with AI, but with Agile. Years ago at JPMorgan Chase, we ran training. Teams learned the events, learned the vocabulary, learned the tools, and then we put them back into the same governance structure. The same approval chains, the same quarterly commitments made 6 months in advance. The framework made absolutely no difference because the conditions didn't change. The environment didn't change. The same thing is happening right now with AI. Organizations that are genuinely getting value from these tools, and it's a very small number, mind you, are doing something structurally different. They're using the time AI gives back to create deliberate room for experimentation. A protected day every 2 weeks, a small budget a team can spend without 3 approval layers, an explicit signal from leadership that learning something is a legitimate outcome, not just shipping something. That's a leadership decision. Good product organizations run on a continuous loop. You ship something small. You sense how customers actually respond to it. You respond by changing what you do next. That's the whole game. AI can amplify every part of that loop. The problem is most organizations are only using the first part, shipping, and nearly ignoring the second and the third parts. When producing a small thing costs almost nothing, the differentiating works shifts. The competitive advantage moves away from how fast you can ship and towards how well you can read what you just shipped. Sensing, pulling real customer signal out of the noise, having the judgment to change course based on what you actually learned rather than what you assumed. At Solomon Brothers, the teams that consistently outperform weren't the ones with the best execution engines. They were the ones who could read the signals faster and adjust what they do next. We used to ship every month and we used to connect with users. And this is in the 1990s, mind you, and understand what they want next. Shipping was table stakes for us. Sensing was the main edge. The same logic applies to product teams today. And AI makes the sensing part dramatically more powerful if you actually point it to that, not just to deliver something. A team that's drowning in ship more now never gets to the sensing part. They're too busy producing to notice what any of it actually is doing. You end up with speed in exactly the wrong place. If the only thing that gets rewarded in a product manager's performance review is ship features and how many chats you had with a co-pilot or a chat GPT, and a failed experiment shows up as wasted time, every rational product manager in your organization will quietly stop experimenting and go back to the backlog. They'll be right to. The incentives are clear. This is where I think most AI transformations are actually breaking down. Not at the tool level, not even at the skill level, but at the permission level. And permission is something only leadership can give you. You can buy every seat of every AI product on the market, run every workshop available, and still end up with a faster feature factory if the people using these tools don't believe it's safe to try something that does not work. Now, I want to go a step further, specifically for the financial services product managers in this audience. We are now working with non-deterministic systems. The output of an AI model is not the same every time. The failure modes are fundamentally different from traditional software. The governance frameworks we built for deterministic systems were designed for a different class of tools entirely. Safe to fail in an AI integrated product environment cannot mean what it means 2 years ago. If you're using the old guardrails for AI experimentation, you're not managing risk. You're creating an illusion of governance while the actual exposure accumulates underneath it. I have a video on Mythos and Fable5 that amplifies this information. This is a product leadership problem that requires someone who understands both the regulatory environment and the technical behavior of the new tools. This is not a nice to have. It's a requirement. So if you lead a product organization, before you book the next tools training session, pick one team. Take a slice of the time AI just gave them, even a small single protected day every 2 weeks, and point it to a customer problem nobody has been allowed to work on yet. Tell them explicitly that the goal is to learn, not to ship. Tell them this didn't work. Here's what we found out is a successful outcome that you defend publicly. Then watch what they do with the permission they just got. There are people in your organization right now who want to do exactly this work. They know what questions are worth asking. They've been carrying this information or questions for months. They just don't believe the organization will protect them if they actually pursue these questions. Prove that it will as that pilot plays out. Track what made it work and where it struggled. Scale the conditions, not just the output. For individual contributor product managers in this audience, you may not control the budget or the quarterly OKRs, but you do control what you instrument. If you're shipping features without building the measurement to read what those features actually do, you are removing your own ability to learn. Build the sensing layer yourself. Bring your leadership a proposal for one small experiment with clear success criteria and a defined learning tool. You can usually get permission for one small thing. One small thing done well is how you change the conditions for everything else. This is exactly what I work through with my clients, and I also share in my training programs. Not which tools to use, how to use AI to actually close the learning loop inside the constraints most product teams are operating in. If this is relevant, click on the training link and the coaching link that I have in my description below, and you will see how we are working through this with many clients today. The organizations that win with AI aren't going to be the ones with the best prompt libraries. They're going to be the ones that figured out how to use what AI creates to close the learning loop faster than anyone else. Ship, then sense and respond. If you like this video, click on the like button and subscribe to my channel. The more you subscribe and the more you like, it's going to support the kind of stories that I bring to you every week. Looking forward to seeing you next time. Bye.